All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you all to the sixth day of the month of May. Well, if you are new on this platform, you might be interested in what we've been discussing for the past 6 days on Dr. Sunday Adelaja's platform. Well, this is the month of May, and it happens to be the same month that Dr. Sunday Adelaja was born. He was born on the 28th of May. Since the 1st of May, we've been celebrating Dr. Sunday's life in a special way. We've had different interesting personalities who have come to speak on the different sides and aspects of Dr. Sunday Adelaja. We had Gideon on the first day who spoke on DSA's books. Then we had my humble self speak on Dr. Sunday's chief values. And on the third day was Elizabeth Aino and Dr. Yemi Success, who spoke on the subject DSA as a mentor. On the fourth day, we had Pastor Bosse, who spoke on DSA as a family man. And yesterday was the amazing children who spoke on the subject DSA as a father. But guess what? The journey continues. And today we are having another subject, and that is DSA as an enigma. I'm sure I'm not sure anyways, but I'm just thinking that you guys might be interested in listening to this side or this area of Dr. Sunday. So we're having an interesting personality, of course, who will be speaking on this subject. But before I introduce him and I bring him to your screens, I would like to give some important announcements. The first one is that we're having a DSA's birthday book promo. So Dr. Sunday is giving his books at a discounted rate for his birthday. So if you would like to take advantage of this promo, you can do that by writing to DSA's office. That is DSA'sbooks@gmail.com. DSA'sbooks@gmail.com. So that's the first announcement that I have to make. And the second of which is that after today's presentation, that is after our anchor for today would deliver his presentation, we would like to invite our friends, members of DSA family who would love to congratulate Dr. Sunday or to give their impressions or their thoughts on the subject that would be spoken about today. So you can do that by registering, going to Facebook Messenger, you search for Move Agents, and then you register your intentions to call into the studio. All right, so well, without further ado, I would like to say that it would be great if we can share this video on our timeline. If you're watching us on Facebook, please kindly share this video on your timeline. If you're watching us on YouTube, you could also share this link on your social media platforms. All right, so I would like to introduce the guest for today. He's a familiar face. Many of us know him, especially if you are constant on Dr. Sunday's platform. Is no other person but my brother from France, Innocent MAGAJI. Good afternoon, sir, or good evening to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anu. I would like to welcome everyone again to the platform. It's been a while. The last conversation we had with DSA was about atheism and people sending in their question. I'm glad again to be once again on the platform to discuss DSA's personality today. So thank you so much for the opportunity. And I want to especially thank you for the help you personally helped me to fix this slide, because the original plan was to use my system, which we had some crash, but I'm eventually using my phone, which is good too. So I want to welcome everyone. So go ahead, please share and invite your friends, because this is a very important topic about DSA today that we'll be discussing, and we'll try to look at his enigmatic personality, which I would like to discuss. But first of all, before I do that, I'll go and share with you my personal life, my journey, my stance, my belief, and why do I have enormous respect to DSA despite our philosophical difference, despite our fundamental difference, the principles about life. Why do I still respect him? Why do I still consider him as a mentor? Why do I find him a fascinating personality? I have collection of videos, collection of documents too, that I would like to share with you. So, are we on? Can you see me clearly? The image, can you see my?
Yeah.
All right, okay, because I'm Josie, I have the presentation right in front of me, the slides, so I'm always going constantly to press it, so I'm hoping not to interrupt the images. So, first of all, I'll tell you about my background, my family. I grew up in a Christian family, a Christian home. So we had catalog of principles that we have to follow about life. And my mother, she's from a church. I don't know even if you know any person, if you know the person, a pastor called William Marion Braham. He's a founder of a end time message church. So that's a very interesting concept. So my sisters they don't wear attachment or wig or any other thing. They dress natural. So they don't wear skirts. They wear skirts. They don't wear trousers, and they don't carry cosmetic on their face, nor any beauty product. So those are some of the principles of this church. So that's the kind of home I grew up in, with this kind of principle. So I had a lot of questions. I had a lot of confusion about life. I wanted to understand a lot of things and a lot of questioning about life. Some philosophical questions, some challenges, and I have to go to school and a lot of things, a lot of the system that I wasn't very comfortable about. So I made it myself available to ask pastors and elderly people around me to try to understand some of the things that I was taught. So I had very little answers. And as you know, our system of education in Africa, in Nigeria particularly, doesn't prepare you at all about the world you're facing. I only get to know about this when I traveled abroad, like the year 2012 when I traveled. So I came into a strange country, here in Europe, in France particularly. And then I discovered that I wasn't prepared to face the world with the kind of education I had in my past, but I wasn't prepared at all to face the world. I was young and lost and ill-prepared because I had a lot of challenges with people, intervention, and so many people some with mean behaviors, some are very nice to me, and some were particularly, to make it to sound brutal, some were particularly racist with their behavior, teachers, colleagues, and so many other places. So I begin to question my personality. I begin to question my humanity. I begin to tell myself, am I human enough? Am I good enough? What is it that I'm missing about life? Why am I being judged by my color? Why am I being judged?
Sorry, your screen is,
okay.
Yeah, your screen is, okay, good.
Okay, are we good now?
Yeah, we're good now.
Okay. So I kept asking myself, why am I being judged by my personality? Why am I, not by my personality, but by my color? By not, you're just here with me, you don't know anything about me, and you're here to have an opinion about me, you reduce me to a level of animal. So I kept asking myself those questions, and I wanted to understand why, what is different, what am I missing? Why wasn't I educated? Why wasn't I prepared to face this world, this brutal world at all? So on the discovery of all these things, I developed hatred for the form of education I received. When I say the form of education, I include my belief system, my customs, my culture, my traditions, and everything at all. I begin to see things differently. So I had to invent a new identity for myself, which requires a lot of reading, a lot of studying. And since I found myself abroad, where I have access to a lot of materials, books, and a lot of things to study, I decided to go online, and I met some interesting personalities. If you know somebody like Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is from the Nation of Islam, those that are familiar with the U.S. history and the civil rights movement should be able to know him. Malcolm X, and a lot of personality like that I will also tell you how this personality helped to forge my own personality. These people, how they help influence my own personal life, my own personal opinion about myself and about my surroundings. So as a youngster who is curious to understand the world, who is curious to create a new identity, I began to tell myself that no, I will not be defined by what people think about me. I will not be defined by what people say about me. I think, yes, of course, I'm black. Yes, you're white, of course, and that there's nothing superior about you. There's nothing inferior about me. So if you have to prove to me that you're superior to me, you have to prove to me through your knowledge. So I value knowledge more than anything at all. I value knowledge more than. So that is the journey. I began studying books. Some of you will know Dr. John Henry Clark. DSA is also familiar with it because I spoke with him about him too. So that's the journey of confusion, of losing my faith. That was the beginning of my challenges. When all these things started, I began to question everything. And the first thing was, what is Christianity? What is my place in Christianity? So I lost my faith at that point because I had access to books that gave me so many information. The first person that I had contact, maybe you will know him too, is called Christopher Hitchens. He talked about that God is not great. So he tried to narrate the responsibility. So I picked the book and I started reading, and I saw that, okay, what is this man saying about God? That's interesting. I want to know what he's saying about God. So he tried to demystify God, let's say. But after reading the book, what I discovered was that he didn't just demystify God. He thought he had nothing to say about God even. All he had to say was about religion, how religion was evil, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism. He picked all the religions of the world and discussed them. So that was the beginning of the questioning. I had these questions and there were no answers. Now I'm finding opposite narrative to the things I was taught. I said, wow, what an opportunity. I kept on studying. So I lost my faith at the process. I became a radical atheist. When I became a radical atheist, I started creating platform against religion. And I was completely radical. And I was trying to vilify religion completely. The people that were around me were shocked because they knew me, my former colleague, a student in Nasarawa State University, and the people that were around me, my brothers, my sisters, my friends, they were shocked with the complete transformation, with the ideological transformation. Some of them were angry, some of them cursed me, some of them I was friends, even my best friend. So a lot of things, a lot of confusion around all those things. So this is the journey of creating this personality. Why am I telling you this? It's because of the person I met eventually, Dr. Sunday Adelaja, because he also played a role in shaping my opinion about the world. And that is one good thing about you, any individual today who is going through challenges of identifying themselves. If you're finding it hard to find yourself in any part of the world, the best thing you need to do is to have an open mind.
Yeah.
You need to learn. You should open your mind. Do not just hold one single ideology. Because if you hold one single ideology, thinking that is the right ideology, you'll be deceiving yourself and you'll find yourself into holding on to very funny doctrines. So let's say, take for instance, somebody like a terrorist, for instance, an Islamic terrorist who thinks that if by destroying large amount of people, he'll be going to heaven and be offered 72 virgins to sleep with. Imagine if such person should have an open mind. That person will stand a chance of changing his mind someday. So that is one aspect that helped me in discovering who Dr. Sunday Adelaja is. So despite, till today, despite our philosophical differences, even though I find it hard to subscribe to the Christian faith, I still have enormous respect for him. And that is what we're going to discover today in this presentation I'm about to do to you. So first of all, I would like to play the first video, which I made. It's called My Personal Conviction. I made it. It's to help you to understand today, even though I'm not religious, why am I talking about this today? Why am I coming out to defend him? Why am I coming out to talk about him? Because most of my friends do not understand. I've had personal attacks because of DSA. A lot of people come to say, oh, Innocent, you're being hypocritical about your stance.
You're fooling a pastor.
Exactly. That's what they say. But they don't understand because they don't know what I know. So that's what I'm about to share with you today. I want to tell you my conclusion. So like I said, have an open mind. Learn things about life. As you see me today, I still go to church. I sit down. I teach children. I listen to pastors when they speak. I enjoy gospel. Yeah, that's what I do. When my friends, they were doing the Ramadan, they say, Innocent, Some of them were happy. They thought I would become a Muslim, but they don't know. I just engage them in conversation because I'm curious to learn things.
Yeah.
I don't judge people. I don't confine people. I don't stigmatize them or just block them all because they're Christians or because they're Muslims. Some people that have been following me for the past 5 years will observe that I've changed my method in criticizing religion. Now I use sarcasm, I use satire, I try to ask questions that provoke the mind, to make people to ask questions, because the more we ask questions, it will be difficult for us to become victim of indoctrination. So I would like to play the first video to you. So Dr. Anu.
All right, so we'll play the first video right now, and let's see what Mr. Innocent has for us. Okay, so let's have.
I'm Innocent Magaji, Nigerian. I came to know about Basamuzulu Credo Mutua at an auspicious moment of my life. I was going through a crisis. I was born into a Christian home, and then became interested in Islam, then Judaism. But after reading the history of how the two religions were invented, I lost my faith. I consider myself as an atheist as of then. But when I made his work, the book he wrote, Indaba, My Children, my perspective about the world changed, because the book opened my mind into the broader perspective about the African cosmology and how the world is governed by some form of transcendent energy. So I begin to tell myself that no, this whole debate is just complicated. So I simply consider myself as a free thinker now. But not just that, I became even proud of my African cultural heritage.
All right. You know, before you continue your thoughts, I would just like to say something, and then you definitely can continue your presentation. Okay. Well, okay. I mean, I'm thinking of who can be better positioned to talk about DSA as an enigmatic human being, because I think you as a person, I think you are an enigma yourself, because one person, I mean, they're saying that you're an atheist, and then we just watched a video, just a short video that talked about your journey from Christianity to Islam and everything, and then even to atheism, and then from atheism you left into being now being a free thinker. Yeah, and then you just said you go to church, and then also you relate with Muslims. I mean, that's something that people might find difficult to understand. So, I mean, being someone that I can describe as an enigmatic person yourself, and then you you deciding to talk about DSA as an enigma, I think it's just something that everyone who is watching us should sit back and yeah, sit back, get ready for the journey. I'm definitely anticipating what Mr. Innocent has for us after giving that introduction. And if you're just joining, I'd like to encourage you to share. We're celebrating Dr. Sunday's life and legacy, and we're talking about DSA as an enigma. All right, so over to you, Mr. Innocent. Let's have you.
Yes, thank you so much. He's hyping. He's hyping. Well, I've chosen 3 points to talk about DSA's life, which I still consider them as being subjective, because I think no one can tell deeply about the personality of DSA except for DSA himself. So I chose 3 things to talk about, which you will agree with me, some 3 visible things that most of you will agree, most people that have listened to DSA, most people that have dealt with him, most people that lived with him, and those that were listening, that had maybe 1 or 2 encounter with him through the live broadcast he has made. So the first video you watch is about my journey, actually. It's about my personality. That person I mentioned in the Bible, I see in the Bible in the first video, is called Credo Mutua. He's a South African. He's a South African Sangoma. Sangoma means a jujuman.
Yeah,
not necessarily jujuman. Yeah, they are traditional healers.
Healers. Yeah.
So this man is not just a traditional healer, but he's a philosopher too. He talks about African cosmology and all those things. So DSA knows him too. That is one shocking thing. When I talked about him, we had an interview. I talked about him, and DSA. I was surprised that DSA knows the man. He has studied the man. I was so shocked. You see. So in that video, I talked about my personal conviction of being a free thinker. So right now, I consider myself a free thinker. That's the tag. That is the perfect tag for myself. So if anyone wants to address me, because at first I was like, okay, atheism, seems fine, but how did this world come about? The human body, it's so perfect. The creation, everything itself. Inside, you see water, heavy oceans. If you observe the nature, you will see that there is a purpose for all this systems. So my problem was not questioning the existence of God, but questioning the concept of what this God is. So do I agree with Islam? Do I agree with Christianity? Do I agree with Buddhism? Do I agree with Judaism? I study these ideas. I say, okay, let me see what you're saying about God. This one, I've been inside this for 20 years, Christianity. But there's that vacuum in my heart. There was no satisfaction. I wanted to understand more about it. So I went on, I have lived it, went into Islam. I had Naik Zakir, DSA knows him too. He's an Islamic scholar. A South African who lives in India. He preached, he has a very large crowd. So I followed his teaching for a very long time. I tried to listen how he explained the Quran and everything. I got a copy of the Quran myself, tried to study it and see the content of it, and I discovered that the Quran wasn't very much different from the Bible. Why am I saying it wasn't very much different from the Bible? Because I discovered that since I've studied the old Bible where there are some books were subtracted from it, so I get to discover that the Quran maintains some of those books, and then there are additional hadiths that the Prophet Muhammad talked about. So some contributions, some extra law that he added to it. So the Quran was practically almost the same story, just that the Quran was written 500 years after Christianity. So it was like a plagiarized version of Christianity, but in a modified form, because you had the story of Adam and Eve, the story of Abraham, the story of Jesus. Everything you see in the Bible, you find it in the Quran. So the difference is the style of writing, the style of literature that was employed, and the hadith that were added to it, and some old books that were added to it, and some Judaism, some Torah work that was still added into it. So that's the only difference. So after I went through all this process to ask myself, okay, what is this identity? What is this God about? What is the concept? What are these religions saying about God? And this is what I discovered. This is how I came to the conclusion that no, okay, all of these concepts are wrong. And I told myself, okay, what can I do? Just abandon this religion, just leave myself. So when I came across the Dr. Adelaja, I put up a challenge to him. I asked him, I said, why? Why? Because I had a few conversations with him, and he knows all the authors I've read. He knows about Dr. John Henrik, one of the biggest authors that have influenced my life too. He knows, although Dr. John Henrik, once again, I'm bringing you back to open-mindedness, not to conform to a specific dogma, because Dr. John Henrik was a great teacher. He taught about Pan-Africanism, he taught about Afrocentrism. So I listened to his teachings. He talked about religion a lot, but the way he spoke about white people, I was able to listen to him. I took what was good for me, and I left the teachings that I found hateful, the teachings of hate, and some radical teachings, and I took what was good. So this journey led me to create an avenue to have a conversation with DSA, to be able to understand if he had read all these authors, why does he still stick to Christianity? That was the question I asked him. Why do you still believe in Christianity? Because DSA struck me to be a very brilliant, a very logical man, a very practical, empirical man. Then Dr. John Henry Clark, okay, this is it. For instance, let me give you two examples. Among atheists, there are two types of atheists, actually. There are those who, African atheists, for instance, there are those who just have problem with religion. They see that it's not logical. And then there are those groups who think that it's not just logical, it's a white man's invention. So the first group who say it's not logical, the religion, can easily fall back into religion, can easily fall back and go back to religion when they are being tried, when they have hard times in life, they can easily fall back. But those ones who say it's a white man invention, who succeeded in convincing themselves that this religion wasn't ours, they will tell you that the Islamic religion belonged to the Arab, Christianity belonged to the Europeans because they invented this religion, they compiled, they canonized, they modified, they translated everything and brought it back to Africa. So if you meet this group of atheists, they are very dangerous. They do not want to listen to you at all. They will tell you, take this thing, I'm African, I like this, just keep it to me, to myself. So Dr. Njeri had this philosophy too. So DSA studied him. He studied so many authors that I found very influential. So what is enigmatic about this is that how was he able to keep his faith after all these things? What is it? What is the secret behind his faith? What is it about his personality? Those are the questions I kept asking myself. Why? 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 So I challenged him to a conversation, to a debate, and asked him to explain himself to the world, which will lead us to the second video that we're about to play now. Conversation with an atheist. So
okay,
can we have it?
All right. So I have the second video, conversation with an atheist. Let's have that video. And I know that you have a PowerPoint presentation, so you just direct us to how you want us to go from this first slide and like that, so we're on the same page.
We'll not play the video, then we'll go to the PowerPoint presentation later.
All right. Okay, so let's have the video, conversation with an atheist.
I think 5-minute video, so that it will not be too long. It will not cover it.
We have it covered for you.
But not until recently these books were subtracted. Yes. So how can you explain such phenomenon?
Oh yes, I can explain it easy. Because this subtraction you are talking about and the 16 books that were removed. 14 books that were removed from the Bible that you are talking about. That was done by the Protestants. This was done by after the Reformation, after the Protestant Reformation took place. Now, what happened was that before the Protestant Reformation, the Catholic Church were the dominant force in Europe. And the Catholic Church were almost having a position of, nobody could question the authority of the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church basically did anything they wanted to do. So after the Council of Nicaea, which included heads of churches from every land where Christianity has spread, including Algeria, Morocco, those were Christian nations that time. Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, they were all, Ethiopia, Syria, Lebanon, all these were Christians. And bishops came from all over these places. And from Europe, from everywhere. So they all came together and agreed, including, and agreed on these original books. But later on, what happened was that about 200 years later, Islam began to spread. And Islam wiped out all these nations that were formerly Christian nations. So when people talk about crusades, they always blame the Christians for crusades. And they always blame the Christians that the Christians brought violence and destruction to Islamic world. But they will not tell you that the Christians waited for 400 years or more before they started the crusade. And what were they trying to do? They were trying to stop and reverse the devastation that Islam has brought upon the Christian church. Because, like, for example, all this was Christian territories. All of North America was a Christian territory. All of Asia, where you now see Syria, Lebanon, all those places, they were all Christian territories. And even Turkey and all those places were Christian. But after...
Okay. So this was a series of videos that you have with Dr. Sunday, themed conversation with an atheist.
Exactly.
All right. So let's hear why did you choose to give us that?
I chose this particular video before my slide to show you that DSA took his time. We had a very blissful time. He lectured me. He gave me history lecture. What you saw was DSA lashing out. He was the one dishing out. I watched these videos. You can find them too on YouTube. It's Conversation with an Atheist Part 5, if you're interested to check this conversation. He explained, this video that you see, he explained to me, you just saw, he explained to me the evolution of Christianity, the influence that Islam had, why the crusade was taking place. What led him to start talking about this particular aspect was, I asked him, why were some of the books subtracted in the Bible? Why was the Bible intact for 1,500 years old until the 16th century, the 15th, 16th century, during the Church Reformation, the Martin Luther Church Reformation, and why were some of the books subtracted if this book was to be a holy book? If it was God inspired, why will a book inspired by God be subjected to men's scrutiny? They will have to add and to subtract them. So he took his time to lecture me about the history of Christianity and about some of these books were subtracted. And the debate was done. I don't know. I got some response from other people. And what do you think about it? So that is DSA in its best performance video. So if you're interested in finding this message, you can go still find it on YouTube, Conversation on Atheist Part 5. You just write it, you will find it there. So you listen to what he has to say. So this is what has been fascinating me about DSA. He's so versatile. He has the knowledge. I've never met any pastor or listened to any man of God or any person who claims to be a man of God with such historical knowledge. So that alone is a huge challenge for me to understand. And most of us listening today, a lot of people will agree that DSA is a puzzle to fix. He's a puzzle. From the very first day you meet him, from the way he dressed, from the way he speaks, his laughter, his look, his action, everything at all fascinates people. People are asking questions, who is this man? They want to know him. Why is he behaving this way? Why does he act this way? Why does he dress this way? So I did the personal choice to discuss with you today about three enigmas that people will be asking questions. Why is this so different from other people? Why does he dress this way? They will ask, when people think, like somebody like me, I'm a very monotonous person, should I say. I see the world in black and white color. I do not fancy other color. I cannot wear pink color, for instance. I cannot wear probably red or purple, I found those colors a little bit repulsive to me. Mm-hmm. I cannot wear them. I don't know why. But most people are like that too. Most men in general are like that.
Yeah.
But this is standout. So it's one of the aspects of DSA's life. But I know a lot of people will agree with me today. So we're going to share the slide with you. The first aspect of DSA's life.
Okay.
DSA as a colorful person. Yeah.
All right. I think that's the next slide, right?
Yes, okay. The next slide now. That is the first. Are we in the first slide now, Dr. Adelaja and ENIGMA?
Okay. Yeah.
No, are we in that slide? Okay. So we're in the color slide now.
Okay, that's the very first slide, the number 1. Okay,
that is Dr. Adelaja and ENIGMA.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go to the third slide now that talks about Sunday Adelaja as a colorful personality. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so you're in the third slide now. The third slide now, we're seeing DSA wearing a white shirt.
Yeah, wearing a white shirt and a green pants.
Exactly. So that is what he's wearing. So that I have some few notes from there that I would like to read loud before we move to the next slide. So I talked about Dr. Adelaja and ENIGMA, an enigmatic man. And what does this mean, actually? What does enigma mean? It means that there are aspects of his lifestyle that seem completely unorthodox to people. Like I just said a few minutes ago, he does things his way. He's always doing what he wants. And the next part is my opinion here. What do I have to say about this? I choose this particular topic to share with you. And I'm not saying they are absolute truth about DSA. I'm not saying that they are the objective truth about DSA's personality. I choose them specifically to share with you these 3 aspects of DSA, which some of you might agree, you might not agree. But like Dr. Anu said from the introduction of the video, you will have the opportunity to call in to share your opinion with us, if you agree or not, and if you have anything enigmatic about this that you feel you're touched personally, to contribute to this thing, because this is an opportunity. We have the platform to discuss all these things now. So let's go into it. So we'll go to the next slide now. That is showing DSA in his colorful attire through his two pictures of DSA.
Yeah. Okay.
So in this aspect, in this particular picture, this slide that we're seeing now talks about color, how color affects us subconsciously. Most of us know that color affects our feeling. The color of clothes you choose, depending on which season of the year that you choose to wear, affect the people around you. It affects how they look at you. It affects what they think about you. You know, you're wearing, okay, for instance, now, let's say, for instance, you've been invited into a house party, for instance, and you go into this house and the entire apartment is decorated in a pitch black color. Or let's say it's decorated in red. What will be your impression? You'll start thinking, oh, okay, why is it like that? Is that the theme of the dressing? The tables in red, the curtain in red, and everything in red, you know? So color speaks to us. There is a philosophy, there is a psychology behind this color. And why does DSA choose to wear this color? Why does he carry them on like that? That is what we're about to discover. What is it behind? What does this color reveal about his personality? What does the color say about what he thinks? Why does he wear bright colors on himself like that? So the next slide is the philosophy of color.
Okay, next slide. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So we have the black color. We're going to look at the meaning of these colors. We're going to look at the meaning before we go for that. So it's tied to the philosophy of color. So the black color is a highly fashionable color and the most popular among celebrities. It represents power. Black color represents power. And then versatility, elegance, grace. It goes equally with all types of functions, formal and informal. So you see, the black is a neutral color. Yeah. So those are some of the meaning of color. Those are the philosophical meaning of color. Then we also have the red color, which symbolizes sensuality, passion, and dominance. Men who want to denote power and lead love to wear red color into fashion. And then we also have the pink color. And the pink color say, the pink peach shades are light and beautiful, calm and cool. They represent flower-like freshness. They will also have the white color for the people who like neatness and they're always clean appearance. So white is the right choice. It denotes simplicity and purity, and is just ideal for summer. So we also have the blue color. That's a blue color denotes trust, warmth, and anyone can wear it, whether male or female, so it doesn't matter your gender. And then the yellow color, which represents sunshine, yellow color, color of flower, it reflects alertness and anxiety. It also represents deadly fire. We also have the green color. Green color is the color of nature and represents freshness and calmness and relaxation. So that is the philosophy behind color. So in these classes of color, now, which will lead us to the next slide now, it talks about they are being classified on different modes. Are we there now?
Yeah, we're on the next slide. Yes.
The next slide now, Firstly, we have what's called the warm colors, the bright colors, and eventually the cool colors. So people who are familiar with DSA, always, every time you see him with wearing, say pays close attention to his sense of fashion, will attest that he often flamboyantly wear a collection of these colors on a single suit, which is, we have a picture of him.
He's wearing in that suit. He's wearing. I can see yellow color. I can see pink color. I can see light blue. I can see dark blue. I can see something that looks like purple. Just one suit.
The butler is a different color.
And then the butler is a different color.
I would never in my life be able to dress like this because I'll feel so uncomfortable.
What's wrong with this man? Doesn't he know color combination?
We have experts, people who can tell us what it means. So these are just the general meaning. These are just the general definition we're giving to it. Because this specific aspect of this is fascinating. You know? It's fascinating. And his wife, his pals, who made the live broadcast the day before yesterday, so said something about this too. So we also like to hear her opinion. You know, she lived with him, so she can tell us closely. She will tell us something. So we also have a video for that. So can we have her video played?
Okay, the video of Pastor Bosse, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's have that video.
Registry, marriage certificates, same city, bringing people together. And now 25 years has come, and we are sure that we didn't make a mistake, and we've had a great life. Even with all the challenges, we have more goods than bad, and God has been good to us as a family. So here on the screen, you can see some of our wedding picture. That was in 1994. That was in the city of Kyiv. Here we are at the registry, because here up till now, church certificate is not valid without the registry marriage certificate. So we go to registry, not because we want to go, but it's part of the law. No marriage is legal here without the registry. So there we are at the registry, and it's so nice. If you see, pastor wasn't in white because it's been a long and hard attitude in him, and hard feeling, and hard awareness to be different. You know, is a creative personality. Yeah, normally you will expect husband either to be in a darker color, but is an expressive personality. Is a bright personality, and even in his dresses, he expresses that. So that's what we got, and that's what we had on the wedding day. And if you notice, I was laughing, and I think at least in the central picture, I was laughing because pastor was to sign the certificate, and since he's a man of a great sense of humor, so we had fun. We had fun because pastor was cracking jokes, he was making jokes, and it's really helped me. It's helped me because I was tense. Yeah, a lot of things to do.
Good.
Okay, yeah, so that's it. That's what she has to say about DSA's choice of fashion. She lives with him, she knows him personally, so you hear it from her mouth. There's nothing special about it. I used to ask myself questions like, what is it about DSA's? Why is his choice of color? Is he trying to communicate a message to people? Is there a symbolic meaning about his choice of color? So now we have learned what all this color means. So the question is, why does color says, what does color says about DSA's personality? I'm posing this question to the audience, so you contemplate about it and see, can you be able to dress the way he does? And why does DSA comfortably wear a coat of many colors? Those are some of the questions that we have. I think we're in the slide now where there are 3 pictures of him.
Okay, let's see the next slide.
Yes.
Yes.
So why does DSA comfortably wear a coat of many colors? That's the question I'm posing to us and to people who would like to call and contribute. Maybe we have experts among us who think about it later on. So the next slide now.
All right.
19.
Okay.
People who have met DSA, people who only knew him through his online broadcast, have different experience to share. Some people expressed awe and marvel. Some people expressed hate, while some people who knew very little of his accomplishment think of him as arrogant because of what they consider as unrealistic goals he set for Nigeria and the continent of Africa. So, despite all the advantages, DSA remained resolute and relentless in the pursuit of his assignment. So, this aspect now will lead us to another enigmatic life of DSA. So, which is DSA, an unstoppable man.
Okay, so that's the second point you have, DSA, an unstoppable man. Okay, so before you get into the second point, I would like to just make some announcement, and then you will continue with the second enigmatic aspect of Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So, dear viewers, we just completed the first part of Innocent's presentation talking about DSA, a man of colors. I would like to give an invitation to everyone who is watching us right now. If you would like to contribute to today's discussion, you can contribute by writing to us. You'll have to go to Facebook Messenger and search for Move Agents. So search for Move Agents on Facebook Messenger and then register, write to us that you would like to call into the studio. And when Innocent is done, we would receive your calls. We would call you actually. So you can begin to register right now. And I would like to announce again that Dr. Sunday is giving his books at a discounted rate just for this month. That is from the 1st of May to the last day of May. So if you're interested in getting a discounted rate for Dr. Sunday's books, you could just write to us at dsasbooks@gmail.com. All right, and just a quick announcement on the books that you can see. That is Damaged by Religion. That's the latest book by Dr. Sunday. It's released. You can get it for free on Amazon Kindle Unlimited. If you register there, you could order for the book on Okada Books, or you could write to the office to get this book, or contact Mrs. Chioma in Nigeria. And then the other book there is Create Your Own Net Worth. All right, so having considered the first part, DSA being a man of color that many people find it very difficult to understand. It's mysterious to a lot of people. So let's have the second part, DSA, an unstoppable man. Over to you.
Yes. So we have his picture now, the slide, DSA, where there's a picture. It's written DSA, an unstoppable man. So a lot of us know this controversy surrounding DSA. It's not one, not two, not three controversies, not 10, not even 20. Many, a lot. Accusation from different people, even from people close to him who he inspired. He personally inspired a lot of them to write books, to review their life. He taught them. I've seen people who lived with him, people who spend a lot of time with him, so close to him, they get to know him, and yet they still don't understand this man. So a lot of them came in with attacks. They have different opinions, they have different things to say about him, different kinds of things. We know that it's not today that DSA has been facing this kind of attack in his life. We know how he left Russia to come to Ukraine because of when he came into the Soviet Union for his studies and the attack from the government. How he came to Ukraine and inspired the Orange Revolution, the movement that he had and everything, and all these accusations and all these things from him. Even currently he's under house arrest where they are stopping him from traveling or even having access to his personal money to spend, So despite this limitation, DSA didn't stop at that. He went ahead to have access to the external world through the resources around him. What is this resources? Is the internet. I've watched some of his first Facebook broadcast video that DSA did. I think only 2 or 3 people were watching. And he was walking outside. He was walking with his camera and he was talking. He was greeting people. He invited his close friends. And some of those friends are no more watching his program anymore. They don't like him today. The first people that started watching his live Facebook, were his close friends. He was asking them to share more video. He was asking them to share. As they share, the video keep reaching to the wider world. And that was when the audience started growing. So he started from nothing, from 1 to 2, 3, 2 to 4 people, from 5 people, continuously. So despite all these adversities, despite all these attacks, all these things, the DSA kept moving. He kept moving, and he kept inventing new ideas. He kept organizing programs. He kept inviting people to Ukraine. He kept asking them to come in. So what is the secret behind him? A lot of people are asking these questions. He's an enigma. What kind of man is he? Is he a spirit? What is special about this? That is an enigma that people want to understand. Why does he have the capacity to be able to resist such pressure, such forces, it's like you swimming against the current in the water. It will be pushing you back, but you're not giving up. You're not giving up. Are you progressing? Are you going back? What is going on? So DSA has exhibited this powerful resilience against all the forces that are coming on against him, and he's very hopeful about it. So it will lead us now to the next slide now. Are we there? It's writing.
Okay, let's see the next slide. Good. Yeah, we can see it now.
So I will read it now. So he said, one would have expected him to suffer from depression, or even worse, commit suicide. Yet he continued to impact lives through his online activity. So who is Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and what is his mission in life? I think these questions can best be answered by his works, that is by his past history, his legacy, the things he did in Ukraine. And he's setting a legacy, but how big is his ambition? What does he hope to gain? Is it fame, money, or is he simply doing what his Lord has instructed him to do? I say his Lord with a tinge of guilt under my tongue, knowing fully well that I'm not a fan of religion, but JC have consistently amazes me. So that's, I'm reading from what I wrote. But I would like to add to this particular aspect, because there are questions that need to be answered, some enigmatic questions. People don't understand why DSA does the thing he do, like criticizing. There was a video I saw about his friend, a personality, one of the GOs in Nigeria, who came to Ukraine, and he even gave testimony about DSA. He spoke about DSA. But there was a time I also watched DSA called out his doctrine, his wrong teachings in the churches. He said, this is manipulative. He said, this is wrong. This doctrine is wrong. He did it publicly. So a lot of people started questioning DSA, telling him, look, you're going to lose friends. You're going to lose connection. DSA doesn't mind. He knows that he's going back to Nigeria. He knows that he'll meet a lot of people. And all these GOs are his friends. He have access to them. But he came publicly to criticize their doctrine. And he's not afraid of the fame. He's not afraid that he'll be hated, because these GOs are not just ordinary people. They have large flock under their authority. Some of them control millions of people. They control their thinking. They have people that are very loyal to them. Like, say, somebody like Adeboye or Yedepo or Chris Oyakilome or TB Joshua. Those people, they have large congregation, millions and millions of people, and branches of churches around the world that are listening to them. DSA is not afraid that these people could turn their congregation against him, but he went publicly to speak against their doctrine. So if a man is looking for money, if he's looking for connection, what kind of fame, such a bad fame, are you sure you really want to go against millions of people? And do you think you will succeed? Isn't that a huge task to take ahead of you? So these are the kind of questions, these are the kind of enigma that people want to understand. What is his motivation? What is pushing him to act this way? What is behind everything? Now, it's very simple for us to see that he's sincere in his act, but because what he's saying, if you have a logical mind, if you read the point he's making, you will see that what he's saying are true. He's very sincere about it. He called out wrong doctrines about some funny miracles that they were doing, and he called about tithe, that it made a very huge scandal when people started panicking. So people are asking themselves, what is this about this man? What is it about him? So that is it with this particular aspect of him, DSA, an unstable one. So we'll move now to the next slide, which talk about a very interesting very, very interesting aspect that is very personal to me. Very, very personal. Now you understand why I say it's very personal to me. So that is the third and the last aspect of the enigma that is what is it?
Yeah, but before you go to the third aspect, I think it would be very good if you give a very practical what's the word, impression that you had as an individual. You know, you already went on a journey,
Yes.
coming from a Christian background, and then doing your research, going into asking questions, questioning everything about religion, about faith, and then you see a pastor who is literally doing what you used to do, and then he's literally questioning all of those practices that had happened, or maybe the things that you've questioned before, or maybe things you've not questioned, but he's literally questioning all of those practices and the doctrines that are in the Nigerian church. It's like people will say he's fighting himself, because being a pastor is a different thing if he's questioning Islam, okay, or if he's questioning other religions. But he is questioning the same religion that he claims to believe, and is questioning their practices, questioning their doctrines. So you as an atheist, what was your impression about that? And I'm saying that because, interestingly, there was somebody that said that atheists and Muslims, although they might not come and be commenting online the way we have people commenting online, but he has his facts that atheists and Muslims, they understand him even better than some Christians do.
Yes.
He has said so too, that the amount of Muslims that are following him and that have sent him personal messages, and even atheists who are also subscribing to him. So they might not listen to any other pastor or anybody, but this on the Adelaja, I think he has. So maybe you might give us, maybe you might need to take us into the mind of atheists, all right? And if you have an idea of the Muslims, why Dr. Sunday, who is an enigma, who many Christians find like this man has lost his mind, but atheists are understanding him. Atheists are choosing him as their mentors. Muslims are coming to him and they're saying, yes, I listened to your message. what is it about this? So maybe it will be good from at least on the practical point, to give us your own opinion or perspective as to why this occurs.
Yes, like I said, in fact, the very first time I heard DSA, I saw myself. I saw my alter ego, actually. Like I saw a mirror of myself.
Beautiful.
Everything he was saying, I was like, who is this man? Why is he speaking like that? Today, I find it hard to disagree with DSA.
And this is your logical mind, though, because as atheists, they question everything. Or maybe not, because maybe you said you're not atheist, but at least with the way you've worked on yourself, you are not sentimental, you're not emotional. You question everything, and you're saying that you find it difficult to disagree with him. That's interesting.
I have the authority to speak about atheism and Islam today because I went through all those phases, like I'm saying,
Beautiful.
like I said in the past. Because first of all, I questioned my Christian religion. I said, what is it about it? I had a very huge, what can I say? What can I call it? A cognitive dissonance. I think that is the appropriate word. That is the most plausible word I can find now. Cognitive dissonance. When it comes to the Old Testament and the New Testament, I started finding reason now. So why would the Bible justify slavery? Why would the Bible justify so many atrocities that were committed by the children of Israel? And then I wanted to understand what is behind all those things. So I listened to DSA. He started speaking. Everything that I dropped, on normal occasion, I would not listen to any pastor that is speaking.
Yeah.
Because I was very radical at that point. I would not listen at all. I stopped praying. So I asked myself, okay, Christianity doesn't have the answer. How about Islam? Why can't I just try Islam and see what does Islam have to offer? I said to myself, let me go in and see. I picked the Quran. I started going to even pray with some funny friends. Something was drawing me somewhere, actually. I was having this insatiable thirst for knowledge. I was questioning. I was almost depressed. I think about it every day. I question all these things. So for me to be able to go through all these stages and find peace with DSA is a big thing. Is a big thing because DSA is a practical man. And this thing I'm talking will lead us to the final aspect, this ontological idealism that I'm telling you about. Because DSA is a practical man. He's a practical man. I'll give you some few examples how I said, because there was a day somebody asked him something. So what do you think about gay? He said. What do you think about gay? I think it's one of these sessions of question and answer. They asked him, what do you think about gay? He said, what do you think about gay? He said, gay people, yes, they are gay. Of course, they do practice homosexuality, yes. But that's not just it about them. He said, there are a lot of things about gay people. They have 100, let's say, on the scale of 100, gayism is just one out of the 100 things that is about your life. What are the rest of the things? What are the rest of the 99 things about your life? What can you think? Their fathers, their brothers, their sisters, their teachers, they have function. So, but you should not, gayism should not define their life. We should not use gayism to judge them. Just like a husband now, or let's say like you now, somebody will just pick one single thing about your life and start describing you with it, and that person will use that to stereotype you, to stigmatize you, to judge you. He said there's no need for Christians to act in such a manner. When I listened to him, I said, wow, a pastor speaking like this, he didn't condemn me. He didn't say you will go to hell, you will burn hellfire. This fire will catch you, this fire will do this to you.
You rot in hell.
I told him, I said, DSA, I said, the way you are, atheist, listen to you. They agree with you because you're a practical man. You're not a sensationalist. You're not a sensationalist who think miracle does exist, of course. But DSA teaches people principles about life. That's one thing that makes him distinctive about
principles.
The principles of life. He tells you that life has a principle. If you are hungry, you want to cook, you have to go in, cut the onions, light the pot, wash the pot, light everything, start with the oil. That is principle. Those are logic, those are steps, those are laws that you respect. So also, if you're sick, it is natural that you seek for medical help, which requires a doctor intervention, which requires medication and all those things. But the moment you try to abandon all this thinking and think everything is spiritual, everything has to have spiritual meaning to it, like you going into to ask for prayer instead of when you have medication, that God provide medication available for you so that to go on to feed yourself with it. So the reason why a lot of Muslims will agree with him is because of their own biased opinion about Christianity too. You know, their mind is not close to the criticism that is going directly to Christianity. So they can be able to reason with him, they can be able to see his point easily. And for the atheists that relate closely to him is because of his empirical mindset, when he talks about solving problems, when he talks about getting things done. Like there was a time I wrote an article about a road in Nigeria of from Akwanga to Lafia. So the people that are familiar with National State, is a road they call it Many Has Gone. That's the nickname they call it. And this specific road, there is accident every day. Every single day. Wow. Like I tell you, within weeks, people are dying. It's a very intricate road. It's between a mountain. It's a road carved between mountains, so narrow and very dodgy, corner. So it's the car that is coming from the other side will not see the next car. The car that is coming from. So every day this accident, they will come and take the car. Many people have been losing their lives. Wow. So a government came in and they decided to destroyed the mountain. They put grenade down, they exploded everything. Now they widen the road. They widen the road. So if you're coming, you can see the next driver. Now they slow all the driver their speed. And all of a sudden, no more accident here again. You know, so people were saying that, oh, the demons were causing the accident. They were giving some meaning.
You say that there are some blood-sucking spirits in that area.
Exactly. They call them demons, they call them this, they call them that. You know. So it's simple. The road was bad. Fix it. Widen the road, get it fixed. All of a sudden, no more accident again. So that is the kind of personality that DSA has. A practical personality. That is why it is very simple for atheists to agree with him, because they don't attach spiritual meaning to everything. If somebody is sick, they don't wait and say, "Oh, okay, let's get this done." Like there was a meme I posted actually too about, I said the NASA company, the aeronautic company in the US, we know them. I said they don't send rockets to the space with prayer. You know, they don't sit down to pray, shakara, blah, 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 so that the rocket will just fly like that and go. They follow principles, they follow rules, they follow laws that are set already. You know, and then I told a friend, I said, look, this thing, you Christians are taking it in extreme. God said, for instance, say, let there be light. He wasn't only talking about the sun or the moon. He was also talking about electricity too. Electricity. And who are the people finding out this electricity? They are the scientists. They are the people with curious mind. They are the people with logical mind. They are not spiritual people, though. They are not prayer people. They are people with logic. They are people that are curious in search of nature.
Very true.
And this is one thing that atheists have, this curious mind. You can't meet them, you can't deceive them. You can't tell them, hey, believe this, and they will believe you easily. Or you can't manipulate them and tell them this. So because they put this barrier between spiritual meaning to things, that's why it's very easy for them to relate to DSA. So I hope I've clarified that.
Very, very good, very good, very good. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. All right. Yeah, so continue. Okay.
So this will lead now to the final aspect, the third aspect, DSA's ontological idealism now. I think we have the slide now.
There's a slide there right here.
Let's see. And then he's standing on the pulpit. I know many people might be asking what ontology means or what is the meaning of idealism. This is very simple. You know, that there are two types of ideas. You know, we have the materialistic ontology and ontological idealism. They are two different things. Like the previous example I just give you now, ontological materialism is the idea that speaks about, you know, how the world, the material world, this world where we live in, that people who sees the world through ontological materialism are people who think that the world has a natural definition to it, that is not always spiritual. And most atheists subscribe to this ideology, they subscribe to this philosophy. So when an atheist tries to explain the world to you, he talks to you about the Big Bang theory, he talks to you about the laws of physics, he talks to you about the different laws. You know, they try to interpret life, they try to interpret nature through evolution and all those things.
Yeah.
You know, so the opposite of ontological materialism is ontological idealism. And ontological idealism is interpreting the nature, interpreting the world, how the world came into being, how human being came into existence, the universe, the galaxy, through the intervention of a transcendental power, which DSA subscribed to, and he tried to explain it through this Christian concept, which is one of the ideas too that got me fascinated about him actually. So I say, okay, we are two different people. We try to explain the world through practical stuff, through material stuff, through substance, through element. And I was even shocked one day when DSA told me, Innocent, I believe in evolution. I say, oh, okay. Go explain to me, you know. Then he went on to explain to me what he thinks evolution is, because here we are. We're constantly evolving in our ideas. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, our mode of communication was different. But now we have different kinds of smartphones. Our language are evolving, vocabularies, new things are happening, we are evolving.
Yeah.
And God is part of this evolution. He made this possible for us, you know. So yes, so this is the definition. I think the definition is below. It said this branch of philosophy explains the material world through the loops of transcendental concept. And what does that mean? It means that you can look at the earth completely. Humans, you can look at the universe and be able to tell people that, yes, somebody created all these things. Yes, there was a beginning. Yes, there was Adam. Yes, there was Eve. And this is how everything went on. This is how everything became. So that is DSA'S of life. That is how he differs from an atheist and from me. Like me, I personally subscribe to his own concept too. That is what I'm telling people today, that DSA actually influenced me to think this way.
Wow.
I played a video to you about Credo Mutua. He spoke about free thinking. He wrote about African cosmology. He tried to narrate about aliens. He talks about aliens, He says some aliens. He talks about the Zulu people. And the word Zulu is a South African language, which actually means something relating to the sky people, So he spoke about it. He said that these people came from, they came in, now they're here. So he made some, although I read his book, I love his ideas, but I do not subscribe to them. He's some kind of, he tried to narrate how Africans, our spiritual system, what we believe as people. So I eventually, after reading his works, listening to DSA, compiling, understanding, that was how my atheism started fading away. I started throwing away my atheistic tendencies of thinking that this world came from nothing and there's nothing at all. In short, the world just boom, kaboosh, and came into existence, So he helped me to see that, no, of course, look at it. The nature is complex, it's very complicated. It cannot just be an accident. Certainly not an accident. Something happened before this world came into existence. So how can you think, it pricks that curiosity in our mind. So that is why I kept emphasizing on that point. Do not have a closed mindset. Do not think, hey, because I have Christianity, I'm saved. That is enough. Or because I have read the Bible and I know everything about the world. No. You still have a lot of things to discover. You still have to go outside your comfort zone to understand these things. Even though because of that open mindset, I wouldn't even listen to this if I just close it, because I've introduced some of it to DSA. A lot of them saw the conversation we had. They came in and they were like, I want to challenge him. They came in close with very arrogant mindset. They were like, who is this man? I didn't came in to debate with him. It was a conversation, not a debate. I gave him the opportunity to speak, to explain his point, to explain his standpoint and what he thinks about this, and I made it available to people. And even though he was saying some certain things that I didn't, for instance, one aspect of the Bible that he tried to describe, he tried to justify some certain killings that happened in the Bible. So he said it was God who permitted all this. So that didn't sit well with me. So I was like, okay, let's just drop that. So yes, so despite the differences, despite all these things, I still happen to believe, I still happen to say, okay, well, he helped me now because of that open mindset. Now, what is it about this work? What is it about the composition of the human flesh? Because there was a debate we had with him. He also asked me, where did you come from? Did you play a role in the country of your birth? Did you play a role in did you play a role which race you come from? That was the question he asked me. He kept asking me. Those questions he asked me kept challenging my mind. How did you come? Where were you innocent before you were born? Of course, I had my response. I have my atheistic response to tell him, but I just kept myself. I kept my calm, and I listened to him. Of course, we can also give it a biological response. We can use biology to explain how human beings come in existence. But I understood this question. That's why I didn't challenge him on that, because I know that the question is deeper than that. That you cannot, of course, select which country you're born. You cannot select into which race you be born. You cannot determine which part of the country, of course. So you have a geographical response to such kind of questions. You also have a biological response to
complex. It's not as easy as it sounds.
Exactly, but I listened to him and I knew what he meant by asking such questions. I knew that he was asking it based on the spiritual aspect of it, something that transcends the human comprehension. We study a lot of things. We think we have knowledge. Let me just give you one brief example of a grandma that I personally spent time with. Her name is Liz. She inspired me too, because she teaches Latin and Greek. So she would tell me, read, innocent, read, she would say, read. So she's a white woman. She would tell me, she took me as her son, actually. So the woman is so brilliant. She's extremely brilliant. And she speaks French. I listen to French. My level of French is almost excellent now. But I've never heard any person, when Elizabethan English.
Mm-hmm.
That is her own style of French. We speak. Imagine you meeting somebody that is speaking English with you. They're speaking English, but using Elizabethan phrase. Speaking like Shakespeare. The way Shakespeare writes.
Yeah.
Employ those terms to speak. That is how she speaks her French. She expresses herself in a very soft, in a very polite manner. So I was so impressed with her intelligence. I said, "Tell me, mommy, give me knowledge." One day, I woke up. And this woman, I came into the room to say goodbye to her. I wanted to go to school that day because I usually come into the room and say, "Good morning. Do you want coffee? Do you want tea? What do you want for this morning?" She would say, "Coffee, please." And I'll serve her. That morning, I came and I said, "Okay, bye. I'll be going." She said, "Okay." Then I came back in the evening. When I came back, I saw that people were standing around. What is going on? Innocent, old grandma is gone. I said, "Oh, okay." I was shocked. I was taken aback. And that instance traumatized me because I was like, what is the need for the knowledge that you keep seeking? And at the end of the day, you could take it to the grave without even be able to solve without even getting to know fraction of how the world came into being, or getting to know about the galaxy. Of course, all this curiosity, I said, what is the need for studies? Even I asked myself. I said, why not just abandon your study and just live your life the way you want it? So this example is to show that we'll never know everything in life.
Definitely.
We'll never know. Like, there was a book I was writing. I was trying to explain different ranges of humanity. We have in this earth where we are, we have the stratosphere, we have the atmosphere, the stratosphere, the troposphere, and then different spheres. Then outside the spheres, beyond, we have the galaxy, and then different realms. So we always science will always try to bring this information back to us, but we'll never know all. So keep your mind open, keep your mind free from doctrines, from dogmas. If you think you're a Christian or a Muslim, don't think the Quran is enough for you. Go ahead, read more, open your mind to the world to try to understand some of the things. So the next one now is a very interesting picture. The next slide.
Okay.
With the man. He's being gored by lions. It's a very interesting picture that I like to speak about. A very little anecdote that I made. It's about a man who believes with his faith that he can be able to accomplish anything in this world. He believed, actually. He believed. And this, I will say this in conclusion, that the reason why I respect DSA today is because of that. Despite that I've lost my faith in Christianity, despite that I've lost my faith through this spiritual connection, but I respect people who have faith. I respect people who have faith, because people who have faith and they believe that they are divinely inspired to accomplish something, they do it with the picture of the man you're seeing was a man. It might not be this specific man, but there was an individual who think, after reading the Bible, the story of Daniel in the Bible, that Daniel went to the lion's den. And he was inspired by faith, through faith. Should I call it foolishness? Should I call it faith? But no, he was inspired. He said he believed that those things were written in the Bible were true. He went into the lion's den and stood there. Of course, the lion, when they saw him, they were curious. And yeah.
They were curious.
Yeah, they were curious. They said, what is this man doing here? Aren't you afraid? They did move. The man was standing there. They say, okay, we will see who is who today. Before he noticed, he wasn't afraid. He was just walking like that, and they just pushed him on the ground, and they injured him, but he was later on rescued by the guard. So they shot the lions, and they rescued the man, So this man was led by his faith. Some people might consider it as foolishness, Some people might consider it as being... But that is the extent of how people can read the Bible and believe in it. And today, I'm talking to you because DSA believe that God gave him an assignment, that God gave him the destiny, that he's destined to change the world. And he doesn't just believe it, but he has proven it. He has proven it. He has proven it with his legacy, with the history, with what he has done in Ukraine. And today, again, is an enigma that people still do not understand. Even Christians do not even believe in. When DSA spoke to them and told them that, look, I have project for Nigeria, I want to change the country, they look at him, they don't even have faith anymore. You see, they have lost that faith. But this is a man who is hopeful, who is determined, who thinks he can be able to accomplish all these things. See? So, but who are the people who listen to him now? They are the atheists. Because when the atheists listen to DSA speaking about his project about Nigeria, they do not see a man of God, they do not see somebody who is spiritual about it, they see somebody who is practical. If you're also curious about this, you can go back and search some of his teaching that he made about the presentation of comprehensive project that he thinks that when being applied can be able to transform Nigeria as a nation. So by seeing such thing, atheists watching it, they can easily say, oh, this looks practical. Of course, this is logical. Of course, he's not asking us to go sit down and be doing Allahu Akbar, who's doing shakara, blah, 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 for the country to just boom, change like that. No, he's providing practical solution.
Yeah.
Studies of topography and different maps and different things and examples and inspiring countries, which I also have a video which I would like us to play about this. It's a very important video that I would like to share with you.
Okay.
So I think it's the fourth video now.
Okay, all right. Okay, so before we have that video, I want to just give this quick announcement. If you want to call in to contribute to today's discussion, I think Mr. Innocent is gradually rounding up. So please just go to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agents and register if you are interested in commenting, sharing your thoughts, your impression, your congratulations to Dr. Sunday Adelaja. All right, so let's have the video that...
The fourth video is the mindset of the reformist.
Okay.
I've been living in Europe for 30 years, and I only lived in Africa for 19 years of my life. But in Europe, I've been living for 30 years, and now I want to go back to Africa. I don't even know the language anymore. I'm from Yoruba, but I forgot it, and I've forgotten what Africa looks like. But I don't care what difficulties people are talking about. I don't care how difficult it is. I know that I've been prepared for 30 years. When I go to Nigeria, you will see Nigeria will be changed and turned upside down. Not because I'm saying this by faith, but I'm saying this because of what I know.
Listen closely. I am going to leave Europe. I want to move back to Nigeria because that is the future of the world. Let me tell you something more about Nigeria. There is something about Nigeria, about energy. Our people are so energetic. When you are around Nigerians, we can fix our troubles. I am going to come back to contribute my own quota that will make the whole country to say, oh, yes, this one was not there before. Now this guy has come, we can see clearly what he has added. By faith and with God, nothing shall be impossible for you.
I don't count myself as a good preacher or as a good speaker, or I don't even count myself as a preacher or a teacher. I'm a lover of God, number one. But my real anointing is to change nations. I know how to do that. That's my specialty. So I need to take that back to Nigeria. You know, God has spoken to me to move to Nigeria. And when I move to Nigeria, I'm not going alone. I'm going to take 200 people from Russia and from Ukraine with me to Nigeria because it's time to raise up Africa and restore Nigeria to a place of dignity. So I'm going not alone. I'm going with people from all over the world. There are Americans going back with me. There are Canadians going back with me. There are English people going back with me. Europeans going back with me. Scandinavians going back with me. People from all over. There are people from the Caribbean going back with me. I'm going to take 2,000 people from all over the world to Nigeria to restore Nigeria. If you are really a man of faith, that is a weapon right there. A believer is an asset to any society. A believer is an asset to any country. You are armed. You are loaded by God. You are equipped to make a difference. When God instructed me to go back to Nigeria, He gave me 25 points. Concrete assignment. And He said, these are the things you are supposed to go there to do. maybe I've taken Jesus too seriously. If he says it's possible that I should embark on the job, I go, and I believe him it's possible. And I don't care what the world thinks. I just kind of take him serious. I just kind of believe him all the way. Making maximum impact. I know what it means. Because for me, for the last maybe 6-8 years, I have come to the conclusion that there is no city in the world where I will be for over 6 months for the whole city not to know that I'm around. And for me, there is no excuse for a church to be in a city for 2 years and for the whole city, at least 50% of the city, not to be talking about you. If you are in a city for 5 years and you have not swept across the city, making everybody to know that you are there to be their deliverer, and they don't even know, I mean, you are supposed to be their savior and they don't even know you are there, so how can you save them? We're talking about making maximum impact. We are talking of a church on mission. We are talking of a church that has returned back to the first instruction that was given by the master. Go and disciple, make disciples of nations, all right? Not going to build a church just for some little group or nucleus of people. He's talking about making disciples of nations. So if you are sent into that city, he said I should make disciples of nations. So everybody in that city represent that nation. So I'm targeting every national group, every denominational group, every racial group, every social group, every stratum. Because of nations, I must reach out to and at least inform about my existence and my presence to deliver them, to help them, to disciple them, to train them, to teach them, and to strengthen and equip. So I go out all the way, getting all the resources that I could. Media, newspaper, printing, publication, prayer, fasting, preaching, every resource that is available, spiritual material, to make all those 2 million people at least hear that I'm here for them, that you can laugh now because help has been sent to you from above. And I do it as if no other church exists in town.
Right soon, some people will be looking for the passport of Nigeria. I bet you that one. In the next 50 years or 20 years, you will see that happening. So if you have people who are living outside of Nigeria, your kids, let them remember where they come from. Because soon and very soon, they will need it.
Did you like the video? Go to Smart and Relentless.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a man with faith. So I'm talking about not just sensation, but he has proven himself. And this is the reason why I also made another video. The first time, that was in 2007, February 2017, I wanted to say. I made a video supporting. I called on my friends, I said, go in, give this man your support, because some of them came in, and they were like, oh, that's interesting. Are you sure this man is a pastor? Some of them even asked me, see, are you sure he's a pastor? Because he doesn't speak like one. You know, like I said, it's not just about prayer and getting people their sensation, hype, and everything, emotion, offering them ephemeral solution. No, it's about offering practical solution. So that was the last video that we're about to play before we start getting the calls. It's about a video I made, which is the fit video, calling people to support him and trying to explain my reason why. So let's try to work that.
All right.
Hi everyone, I wanted to make a public video to share it on my Facebook page, share it on my YouTube account, to give my support to Pastor Sunday Adelaja. If you don't know anything about him, please, he has a blog. Go read his Facebook page, read everything about him. You will know that he's an incredible person. If you're an atheist, a Muslim, a Buddhist, whatever you are, you'll be interested to know a lot of things about his life, especially to the Africans. Before I go on to tell you more about him, I would like to share my background, my life with you, how I became who I am today, how Christianity has forged my personality, even though my perspective about religion, about the world has evolved beyond religion. So I was born in a very humble Christian home, and then I went on to study the Quran. I was very curious, and my curiosity made me to study a lot of things. I studied the Torah, and I went on to study philosophy and a lot of things. I read a lot of history books just to, help me understand the world. So that was my problem. That was my sickness, curiosity. You see? So the reason why I'm telling you, I'm sharing this with you, is that my perspective is beyond religion. And I've discovered something about this individual, Pastor Sunday Adelaja. Is something incredible, something I've never seen in any human who claims to be religious. You talk about Miles Murray, or you talk about Chris Oyakilome, you talk about Theolos Bono, Rihan Bonkino, you talk about Ben Hinn, or you talk about William Marion Braham. He is a unique person, Pastor Sunday Adelaja. What is unique about him? I will tell you something, and you will agree with me that this is true, nothing but the truth. All preachers all over the world, anywhere around the world, even in the Bible, the apostles, they have one objective. One thing is to prepare their congregation for the life hereafter. That is about hell and heaven. Is to prepare you to avoid hell, to find yourself in heaven, where you'll be rewarded for your good deeds. It has been their purpose and their mission to preach the afterlife. But here comes Pastor Sunday Adelaja. He said, no, this whole thing is not just about the life hereafter, but this life, this present life where we are, is something else. It's an assignment that God gave to us to understand and to make good use of it. So, one thing that is unique about him, which I don't know how to say it so that you understand, is like preaching heaven to a hungry man. We have churches in Nigeria that are preaching about heaven, but their congregations are hungry, they are poor, and they are lacking. We all know that the prerequisite to become rich is not all about being all holy and all religious. We have seen irreligious people, probably they did not subscribe to Christian faith or Islamic faith or some kind of faith, some kind of deity, but they are rich anyway. But the Christians reduce their thinking by thinking that, oh, if you're just a Christian, everything will be cool with you. And that's not true from the example of things we have seen. Most of them are living in abject poverty. So Pastor Sunday Adelaja is here to help us understand that we have a mission here on earth to prepare, to enjoy this earth, to enjoy the gift that God gave us, to enjoy this life, every good thing about this life. And then when we are gone, there's another good reward in heaven for us. That is all he has been into. So the reason why I'm fascinated, even though I'm reserved when it comes to religious activity, anything spiritual, anything holy, or this gospel, I'm not fascinated by it. But there's this personality about him, this aspect of his life, that he is a reformer, that it's attracting me. He does not just speak about reforming or having a good life here on earth or promise you miracle. He came up with project that can transform Nigeria and Africa in general. So it's not just about speaking and giving beautiful rhetorics and speeches wherever you go. No, he came with project, and this project is what I want us to go on wherever we are to support him, support this movement, support his vision, support everything that is into it. Because he's our child, he's our own. He's a black man, and we're about to make history. We're about to set Africa in the map of the history of the world. We have been left behind. We are lagging. That's not our place. Let's follow him, support his dream, support his vision, and make sure that things change for better. Thank you as you go on his Facebook page to know more about him. Thanks.
Wow. This was 2 years ago, right?
Yes. This was 2 years ago. So I left that opinion. I was calling on people. By that time too, I was still skeptical about religion, but I had faith. And as I'm telling you today, this is my sincere conviction that I'm 100% dedicated. That loyalty, that hope, that belief, I have 100% in DSA, his ability to accomplish, because I've seen things I'm yet to see in any other human being. First of all, he doesn't just have the ideas to accomplish, because I've listened to so many orators. There are people that are very good at saying things, very good rhetorics. They will speak to you, they will tell you how you should live your life, they will tell you what needs to be done. They are very good in saying things that I've studied. Good talkers, I call them. Most politicians, most public speakers, most motivational speakers are like that. Then there are those people who are good at executing the things, the ideas that they have in mind, but are not able to vocalize their ideas. This is a combination of both. He vocalizes ideas, he's good at executing them. Not just good at executing them, he has the energy. Most of you will be familiar with Showore. You see the way he does his things. He's a nonchalant man. He goes in, he doesn't care the risk in it. But of course, yes, he does care, because he's very calculative, he's very logical. Before he takes one step, he knows the outcome of what he's about to get himself involved in. So that energy, he has that energy, which is something I discover rarely among any other person. Today, I don't listen to any preaching. I don't listen to any pastor. I don't even read the Bible or go into praying or anything. But anytime I see DSA on, I tune in, because I learn things every day. Even though those atheists will say that's so-called believer, that's so-called pastor. But this very pastor inspired a lot of people. There was this guy, I've forgotten which country he came from. I think his name should be Luvio or something like that. Luvio, I think that's his name, who was saved from committing suicide through DSA.
Yeah.
So when I look at how positively DSA has changed a lot of life, and how he has positively inspired a lot of people, I think he deserves a lot of respect. So do not be amazed by things you don't understand about him. DSA said for you to be able to understand him, you need to read or listen to his message, 200 of them at least, 200. Don't just listen to one message. Don't just listen, no. Study. Listen to them and study. There are people today who criticize him, but they are yet to even understand one of his messages. The moment they just hear one, oh, it's about tithe, they don't know anything about the rest of his message. They start hammering him, they start cursing him and all those things. You know, they do all these things, but they don't know anything about his teaching. So me, somebody who, I'm not a big fan of Christianity, but I listen to him because I learned a lot of things. And I've seen how he has transformed life. You should also do the same thing. And Christians are always quick to do these things because they have this mentality of godfatherism, of this spiritual father, of some kind of enigmatic thing. So once they come in, they are looking for that same thing. If you're coming to DSA, drop all your formal ideas, all your teachings, anything you think anything you have learned in this life, just drop it. Drop it. Come to DSA and learn everything you think you know.
Wow.
Come with it. Yes.
Wow. I mean, what you just said, the last, I don't know if you did that intentionally, but the last line or the last sentence that you just made, can you repeat it again? Because I think that is something that might be the stumbling block for a lot of people who listen to Dr. Sunday. So it would be great if you repeat that line again.
Yes, I would like to repeat it again. So let me say it now. So you listen to me. One book, one audio, single message, article. You read about this is not enough for you to know him. You need to read more, up to 50, 100, and not just to read, but to read and to understand. You read, you compare them, because they are not false promises. These things are practical ideas, they are practical teachings. If you apply them in your life, I've read some of his books, How to Change Nigeria, the politics in Nigeria, how to transform the Nigerian economy, how to transform the Nigerian system, the spiritual system, and the church shift, and all those things. Read all those things. You see that they are practical. They are practical teachings. So go ahead, read up to 200. If you hear any person criticizing DSA today, ask that person, how many of DSA's messages have you listened to? I would like to make a reference to one single brother who has been busy criticizing DSA. But I personally listened to what he was saying, because he made mention of my name. Somebody called me to come and watch the video. They sent the video to me. Several people sent it. That DSA tried to convert me to Christianity and he failed. No, he didn't fail. I might not say I'm a Christian today, but I live that life. Everything I am today is because of Christianity. Everything I owe, the person I become. I'm not going around hurting people or judging them. But Christianity has played a huge role in forging my life. And what the bad notion I had about Christianity, this has changed all those things.
Wow.
He helped me to understand that Christianity is not just about spirituality, that you can use Christianity to change the society.
Wow.
So that aspect I respect a lot. And people that are coming in to criticize, after I watched the commenting they were doing about the DSA, not praying before he started his meeting, about DSA not doing this, about this, speaking about this, about that. And then there was this other thing the brother said. I said, look, no, you didn't even listen to what he was saying. Go back, listen carefully, learn, open your mind, unlearn everything you know in the past. Because if the system of the past, if it was so perfect, it would have been working. A lot of people are under bondage today. They're under bondage. So I think we're expecting a course.
Yeah, great. Okay, I don't know, are you done with your presentations?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so well, I mean, this is like, it was like a feast listening to you talk about DSA as an enigma. Well, I want to throw out again the invitation to all of our viewers who are watching us right now. Mr. Innocent has done a very great job. You could see the details in his explanation. You could see that he's really a thinker. He did his research, and I would like to get your feedbacks, your impressions, and your congratulatory messages to Dr. Sunday as we celebrate his 52nd birthday. So please go to Facebook Messenger if you are interested, search for Move Agents, and write to us, register your intention to call, and we will call you. I would like to hear you speak. Okay, and as we await the callers, Dr. Sunday is having his book promo for this month, for his birthday, for you to get a discounted rate for all of his books. So for you to register, for you to take part of in this promo, you just need to write to us at write to the office at dsasbooks@gmail.com. I would also like to add that please just be patient, because there are a lot of messages that are coming in, so you might not get response immediately, but definitely you would get a response. So that's it. I think we have a caller already. Good evening, caller.
Hello, good evening, Dr. Anu.
Good evening, sir. How you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
Awesome. Can you introduce you? You sound like Pastor Tukado, but I'm not very sure.
No, my name is Peter. I'm calling from Belgium.
Peter, aha, Peter from Belgium. Yeah, you are a constant, definitely.
Yeah.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for the great work that you are doing. I'm really appreciate your good work, and I just want to thank our brother that is there today, Brother Innocent. I mean, I'm so very happy. I'm so happy because when I saw the post today, the poster, I said, "Oh no, this I can't wait to listen," because during his interview with DSA, I think I followed all to the last stage, and he gave all the breakdown today, and he showed some of the videos and everything. I'm so happy because. He's a very intelligent person. He's a very brilliant person. He has a good heart. He's a good thinker. It's a lesson for some of us or those people that is a Christian, because some of us that is a Christian, we find it difficult to understand the gospel and the truth of what DSA has brought to us because of the past messages people have been hearing, the lies messages, the adulterated messages, the wicked message, the impossible message, the misery messages that we have been hearing. People are finding it difficult to understand that the message or the teaching of DSA is the true light of gospel, is the truth of the gospel. If you see how our brother Innocent break down everything, and the way it's so simple for us to understand the importance and the word of DSA. When you listen to DSA, I just want to say this. When you take your time and you humble yourself, you remove pride and hatred or whatever is in your mind, and just say, let me just listen to one video for just 2 hours. Then just take another step for another 1 hour, 30 minutes. I guess that person will find he will do himself a very big favor. Because I know it's going to be difficult for some people to understand because of hatred. I mean, what DSA have brought, the message is love. The message is truth. The message is practical. The message too is spiritual. The message is all that we need as a Christian. And I just want to thank him for his birthday, that is, how do you say it, his celebration that we have today. I don't know, I have so many words, I have so many things to say about DSA. DSA particularly have transformed my life, my approach to life, my thinking, the love that I have, my humbleness. His message is a healing. When you are really honest when you are honest and you are truthful, you can see the light and the truth and the transformation from even sitting down, looking at you, speaking, laughing. We talk about his colors. We talk about what's the clothes, the kind of color that he's wearing. DSA is a different personality. Everything about him, when you want to see the truth, you see it in him. I'm not saying he's 100%
perfect.
How do you say it? Perfect, but I mean, we should be honest to ourselves and see we have been looking for the truth gospel. We have been looking for somebody that wants to lead us to the light. As the Bible says, we are the light of the world. We have been looking for that miracle, that breakthrough that they have been telling us, not that spiritual or physical breakthrough. DSA has brought so many things. So the light, what we are looking, the Christianity, the kind of Christianity we are looking for in Africa, in Nigeria precisely, my own darling country. Everybody that is hearing that want to watch this video should remove pride and remove that hatred, that sentiment, That's how he's talking to my pastor. He's not talking to any of your pastor. He's challenging the doctrine, the egocentric gospel, the commercialized gospel, the wicked gospel. Things that we are complaining about, we know. We are complaining about it in the church. Many of us know about it before now. But people are still sitting there thinking that is the way out. Brothers and sisters, it's not the way out. Try as much as possible to embrace, to listen, humble, diligently, with love. You know, I just want to share this to people because we are talking about the transformation, how DSA has transformed our lives. Me in particular, you know, I listened to one of his messages when he said, one time he said, you know, he don't even know how to be, that is, how to be hungry anymore, how to be annoyed, to be angry with anybody. There's one message that I listened to. You know, what do I mean? That DSA messages where you practice what he's saying. I mean, you know, I try to practice this anger of a thing that something will happen and we just flame up. You know, I begin to see how I feel, how my spirit is so gentle, my understanding before, even just to say, oh, yesterday, my wife don't listen to DSA, but he understands when I'm speaking and he know my kind of person, he know how I've transformed. He said something yesterday evening. He said, he's so happy now that I've really changed, that my approach to her, the way I talk to her, I respect her a lot now. I was so happy.
Beautiful.
It's not, yeah, because there's a lot that you can say about DSA messages. There's a lot we can learn. There's a lot is in his words, his laughter, his colorful dress, his attitude. When he speaks, it's like heaven wants to come down. When you read his books, I'm not a good reader. Now today, I'm so proud that I cannot do without listening. I cannot do without reading. I cannot do without doing research. I cannot do without trying to practice the truth and the truth and the love of God. The reason why Jesus came. You know, I'm so happy. I'm thankful to DSA today because he have transformed so many lives. I think you are hearing me. I don't know if you're
yes, we're with you.
Yeah.
We're with you.
So, yeah, I'm so happy because I listened to the first day that you have a book review of DSA, the other brother. Yeah. I listened to the other one. I listened to the other sister. I was at work last week. I was so amazed. I listened to Pastor Bosse. I listened to the kids yesterday. And today, when I saw a brother Innocent, I said, I want to listen to this brother because I've been watching his interview since last year or so when he was when he had an interview with Pastor DSA. So I'm so very happy to be part of this reformation, this part of this truthful gospel, reformation gospel that have brought light and that have brought happiness to my life, to many people. And the way I speak to people now, when I call anybody, when I'm talking, I chip in. Let us discuss about the gospel, the true gospel. I think throughout yesterday, I think from Nigeria, from Austria, from any of my friends, I try to bring their understanding to listening to the true gospel. It's really transforming me. He has transformed me. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to exploit all that DSA have, which I know is so much. I don't know how many are able to know, but the little I have known for 1 year and 4 months that I've been following DSA, the way I speak now, the way I think, the way I reason, the way I want to react, the way my love attitude. I mean, I don't deceive myself, but these are true testimony that people should just. We are not just trying to make mouth or to come to praise. He's giving me that praise, but he deserves it because I've been a Christian for, for maybe like, let me say plus or minus 20 years. But the information that I have, the change of the blessing of the word of DSA, the preaching, the teaching that I have received for 1 year and 4 months. I mean, even for the first 1 month, I have already changed.
Wow.
But gradually, I started following, reading, listening to True Message, Thinking Message, Family Message. All, I cannot really name all now. You know, I cannot wait till when I want to watch DSA program. Even when it's not live, I want to go to other programs. I want to go to other past one. And I want to say this because our brother was talking about, our brother that is talking about DSA now, what's his name? Maybe I don't want to mention his name. He lives in Italy. You know, maybe he's listening now because he used to listen to DSA even till now. Last week, he called me because we are on a messenger. On messenger, he called. He sent me a message before when the situation happened. I just want to share this so that the whole world will hear, because people, like Brother Innocent said, he should go back and relearn himself again. It will be of help to him. He should not try to deceive himself or try to play to people, or he wants to play to people gallery. You know, it will not help him. I spoke with him. He called me and he sent me a message. And he used a very bad word to send me the message concerning DSA. But because of the love that I have, because what I have learned from DSA, I replied him as a brother. I replied him as a brother, and I told him, you know, he should not speak like that. And then he said, me, I don't know anything about DSA. I said, no, I know when the first day you called DSA. I know the first day you called DSA. I was live when you called, when you give a testimony about your life. I said, please, brother, go back. Don't lecture me. I'm an adult, but I'm still advising you as a brother. Don't try to, because he wanted to invite me to a program so that I can come to testify. I said, I'm not a child, so you cannot convince me. So I guess he's looking for people like that. I'm saying this thing to many people are listening now, and many people will still listening. You should try as much as possible to go back and listening and ask for God to give him more wisdom and direction. I sent him a message that broke him down. I said, we are living in the Western world. I said, let us pray and let God use us as God have used GSA in this part of this world. We are still living here. We know what it takes to influence one person. I say, if it is that, just pray to God for God to give you that strength or that power to influence, learn from him. So that is how I reply. Well, how do I get this? How do I understand this? Because of the word, because of the love of DSA, because of his teaching. I think I was able to put that love together and that understanding to speak with him, not with anger, not with argument, or not of fighting, just for him to listen. I guess sooner or later he will recall his step back. And I want to like to stop here. Maybe other people want to call, but I want to thank DSA, appreciate him, more grace to his able blessings, to more blessing to his life, and all that he wants to accomplish, that God should allow him to accomplish it in Jesus' name. I would like to stop here. Sorry.
I can't hear you. I think the sound is cut.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I'm so sorry. My microphone was switched off. So I was saying, Mr. Peter shared a lot. I don't know, were you able to listen to his call?
Not fully.
Not fully. All right. But it was a great testimony he shared from his life and his feedback and impression. So that's Mr. Peter from Belgium. I think we still have one column or some. So just quick announcement. If you are interested in calling into the studio to share your thoughts, please, you can by going to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agents and write to us that you like to contribute to today's discussion. All right. Good evening, caller.
Hello, Dr. Anu. Good evening.
You sound like Mrs. Ufoma. I hope I don't miss this.
That's good. You know my voice.
All right.
This is Ufoma calling from London.
Yeah.
Hello, Ufoma.
Mr. Innocent Magaji. In fact, you have done a good job today. I cannot believe what you did.
Wow.
It's just amazing. I am so impressed. And I said, no, I must call him.
Thank you.
You know, Innocent, well done. You know, there's something I like when you follow someone and you know, for me, it's more than just, you don't really follow somebody if you cannot say some things about them, if you cannot notice some things about them. You know, it will just be superficial if you say, oh, and it's so funny that a lot of people want to talk about this man and they don't really know him. They are not taking time out to study him and know him. You know, I feel so sad for such people, you know, that you want to, you know, you say, like, how do I say it? You know, they talk very confidently ignorant about the person that they have not studied, that they don't know. You know, but I'm so pleased, I'm so proud of Innocent today because he's really on point. And talking about DSA with his colors, in fact, I was like, wow, Innocent, you did your research really well. It's really amazing. DSA is truly a man of colors. And that has also influenced me because his philosophy of colors, you know, I remember when he took us through a lecture on that. Wow, I was blown away. And that has really given me my own mind shift. I'm not the person that like colors, but following DSA, I try all the time to make sure that I'm not a shadow of myself when I'm walking about.
You are trying our best too.
I'm trying to adopt more colors now. And also, talking about DSA being unstoppable, wow, that got me. Yeah. You know, and he's truly an enigma because you see somebody, you know, like I made a post recently, I said a man that is faced, that is faced with so much contradiction, you know, but yet he's moving on. He's just unstoppable. And that really, it gets me really thinking that what kind of will does this man have? What kind of spirit does this man have? Sure. What kind of strength does this man have? You know, he's really, and I tell people, I say, you are just wasting your time. Whatever, all this what you're doing, DSA is just seeing where he's going. He's truly unstoppable. There's nothing that, you know, that really moves him. There's nothing that shakes him. He has been able to combat every crisis. He has been able to combat every negative circumstances in his life. He has been able to convert them into positive. So no matter the arrows, no matter the dart, the dart that you throw at him, it's like a skin of a porcupine. I don't think it gets to him. He just he's forging ahead, he's doing his thing, he's just going on. And I love that about him because life generally is full of distractions. And if you cannot keep your focus, you will be like the dog that instead of following the matter, I just saw something on the road and derailed.
That's so
you know.
True.
So I'm really so pleased with what Bra Innocent did today, and you know, hearing from him, especially with his journey with DSA, is really interesting. When I saw his name, I said, "Wow, today is going to be interesting," and he did a good job. And I just want to say, well done, you know, Bra Innocent, and to DSA. Yes, remain your man of colors, remain unstoppable. We love you and we thank God, you know, for the kind of grace and the kind of spirit he has given unto you. We know that which he has ordained for you to do, you will do it. And I just thank God for you. I can't stop thanking God for DSA's life, really. I can't.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Queen Ufoma, for your wise words. Sound words that you said there. Thank you very much for calling. I don't know if we have other callers. Okay, I think we still have one more caller. Would you mind to say some things, Mr. Innocent? Do you have any?
Was it not the first caller that called?
It was Peter from Belgium.
I would like to thank him, Peter. Thank Ufoma. I know you follow on Facebook too. So thank you, Ufoma, for the contribution. And to the people that the person that is about to call, you can feel free to ask any question. You can drop your question in inbox. We'll go back to read them. I think that's cool too. I mean, it's wonderful testimony and what Ufoma said there. They're really inspiring. So
great. Thank you. All right. So I think we have another caller now. And Okay, hello, caller.
Yes, Doctor. I know this is Mabel Chinwe from California.
I didn't need to guess your name. I didn't also need to say who is calling. You introduce yourself all by yourself. Welcome, Mrs. Mabel. Good to have you.
I cannot hear about DSA and sit down. It has come to that.
Awesome.
I can't hear that name and keep quiet. Is that bad now?
Wow. Wow.
So where am I gonna start? Look at that, what my brother is doing there. The testimony is coming by itself.
True.
I just weep for my country. Why am I weeping for my country? The only thing that God needs from us is just believe in yourself. That's all he needs. The rest he will do. And look at Nigerians. We don't even believe in ourselves. True. We don't even know what we can. Somebody is saying what he's gonna do, and we are saying it's not possible. It's an indication that we don't believe in ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And look at a man that believes in himself, and that's all God wants. And somebody wanna stand against him. I think it's time I address my brother's issue, because I think the truth has to be said. If I should understand vividly clear, the first day I heard Bro Raphael speak in this platform, I heard him say he was trying to marry another wife. Why being a pastor where he was a pastor? But because he had DSA, he stopped and reconciled with the wife. That's number one. When did he start getting DSA? When Olukoya stopped paying for one rent or the other. That's when Raphael stopped attacking DSA. How justifiable can Raphael be? I'm here to understand that. And now it's about going about calling people to come and testify. You don't need to call me to come and testify. I will testify by what I see. I will testify by what I know. There is no way DSA will be called now. Even if I'm on highways driving and I heard DSA's name, I will stop, not minding what is going on. I will stop to listen. You don't need to tell me what to do. Truth must be told. Bro Raphael, I'm your sister. Just go back. Stop. Because soon you're going to run out of subject matter. And what are you going to preach on again? As one brother rightly said, please, start this reformation from Italy. Start from there. We will see it. It will show itself. You're not supposed to announce it. Because what DSA is doing in Ukraine is announcing itself. Nobody can stop that. Nobody can question that. Some people will say DSA is because DSA will do something for some people, they will speak. What is DSA doing for somebody that is in California? Thank God he's not close to, thank God that he's not in California. What do I mean by what can he do for somebody that is in California? Maybe they will say he's giving me money. And this man said it clear. I would love to help everybody, but because my money is tied down, do they want him to get his wife's own and give to them? Do they want him to get his students' own and give to them? What is wrong with human beings? What is wrong with us? Can we simply give honor to whom honor is due? Whether we like it or not, God is with this man. Nothing. I say absolutely nothing will stop this man. He is unstoppable. And the Lord God is back. Thank you, everybody. I sincerely love you, my family. I am here with you. DSA, where you die, I, Mabel Chinwe, the Esther of Igbo land, will die with you. I hope I will even get a place to die with you. Thank you so much, and keep on the good work you are doing. Nothing will happen to you. The Lord got your back. They are just, well, oh goodness. When this man speaks, you see authority speaking. And where is his authority coming from? From his Jehovah God, from the God he serves. Who can question the God? Who can stand God? Who can question God? Anu, let me stop here for now. Thank you.
All right. Wow. Mrs. Mabel, thank you so much for your words. You know, just like what Mr. Innocent has said, as one of the things that is enigmatic about Dr. Sunday, it is the fact that is unstoppable. And I think that is something that we all can learn from. Because the idea of being unstoppable is that there's an opposition that wants you to stop. So opposition is not a problem for someone who knows where he's going to. And I think that's what Mr. Innocent is trying to, at least he saw that in Dr. Sunday, that he is an unstoppable man, despite challenges, despite people who, despite people who are standing, despite people who are coming against him, even if you're for him or against him, he knows where he's going to, and he is resolute. He's resolute on fulfilling what God has placed in his heart. So I think it's something that we all can learn from, we can borrow a leaf from, that we should also be unstoppable in whatever we're doing, that despite critics, despite opposition, we should keep moving forward. So yeah, his life is an example for all of us. I think you have something to say before we receive the next caller, right?
Yes, and you know what?
Yes.
Even somebody who is doing something wrong can be unstoppable too.
Yes. Yes.
We can learn to be unstoppable. We can also learn like the virtue. Virtue. I don't know what that was.
You're going to continue your thoughts. Please just keep it, because we have a caller and then you continue after that. Okay. Hello, caller. Good evening to you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Adelaja from London.
Oh, Mr. Adelaja, I can recognize your voice definitely. Thank you so much for calling, Ma.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
My contribution today is about Innocent. I didn't want to make a call before, but with the last caller, that's what made me make the call. First, I want to thank Brother Innocent, because I keep looking in the dictionary for all the grammar being brought up online, and I said, my God, it's a long time I've checked the dictionary last. So you will really make me look in the dictionary for certain words now, and my vocabulary has increased due to your, program today. Yeah. So, and I so much appreciate your life as well. You've learned a lot. We all have learned a lot. Thank you so much for contribution to DSA'S birthday month. And again, about the last caller, right? Yeah. On this issue of those who are derailing and not derailing. In the first place, this whole mission was based on the money issue in the Christian body. And now I'm so amazed, some people are coming on DSA platform looking for money, just like that Raphael or whatever they call his name. That is real. Those ones are not born again. They are just, children of lies, like their fathers of charlatans in Nigeria that we have. Those are the kind Raphael belongs to. So nobody wants him back, or because even if he's going to do any preaching, or he won't get genuine, godly people. Because those who know their God, you have to know God to be on this DSA mission. If you don't know God, I'm sorry, you just have to come and learn, which DSA is doing consistently, giving us all right in this scripture. He's not taking it from anywhere. It's from this scripture. He's using everything to teach us. So whoever is looking for money, better go back to all the GOs and pastors and all the rubbish in the African continent, especially Nigeria. So there's no need begging anybody to come back or start doing something from Italy for, no. He's not going to get genuine people. So stop persuading him. Let him just go the way he likes. It's in the Bible. Those who are destined for hell, they will surely go to hell. Jesus said, those God had given to me, they will surely be mine. That's what Jesus said. And surely those who want to be in his fold, part of his sheep, they are surely there, strong, standing very strong. That's my comment today. Thank you so much for all you've done today. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adiola. I don't know, were you able to follow were you able to listen to our contribution?
Not fully.
Not fully. Okay, but I know you were saying some things before, so I'd like you to continue.
No, we're just talking about DSA's unstoppable. Thank you, Adiola, for calling in, by the way. Thank you so much for your contribution. Yeah, so we appreciate all these people that are calling in to share what they think about it. So we're talking about DSA's unstoppable personality. What happened? It happens to be an enigma. People are still wondering why is he doing what he's doing, and why is he not stopping despite the adversity and all those things. Yeah, so we can learn from him, like you said, and learn not just that, but learning the right way, because DSA is sure of what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because first of all, if you're not harming people, if you're not manipulating people, then, but because he's equally criticizing the GEOs. The GEOs might also be unstoppable. They might also learn how to be unstoppable, but they are being unstoppable on the wrong way because they are not accepting correction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just you know what you're saying is so true. We're going to get the next caller, but I just want okay, no other caller. But I mean, just my thoughts, and this is something that Dr. Sunday also talks about. You know, there's a part of the scripture that says that there is nothing we can do against the truth, but for the truth. So when we as individuals, when we live our lives based on the truth, we can sleep even in the midst of chaos, and we would know that we will be safe because the truth would always stand up and fight for us. The truth would always stand up and defend itself. So I mean, just on a personal note, and this is what I've learned from him, we don't need to even be so bothered about anything or anyone, or just no. That's what Dr. Snote always teaches us, and that's one of the things that makes him even enigmatic. It is that, like you said, he's unstoppable. And why is he unstoppable? Because he's on the truth, and the truth is unstoppable. You can't stop the truth. It's just like a saying that says, if you hide the truth or you keep it for 1,000 years, it will come back. It will catch up. No matter how long you hide it, no matter how long you keep it. So just from what you've shared with us, and I think those 3 points that you've made, Mr. Innocent, today, they are fantastic, starting from DSA being a man of colors, being a very bright personality, not wanting to go with stereotypes, but standing out to express himself in the way he desires, you know, and then being someone who's unstoppable, resolute, dogged, and I mean, these are qualities that makes him really enigmatic. And then to your third point, him being and following the philosophy of ontological idealism. I mean, talking about how his faith can be converted to something on this part of the world, and we can see the results. It can, I mean, leading to transformation, and that's the whole gospel of the kingdom. So I want to say a big thank you to you. Thank you so much for your explicit research and presentation on the subject DSA and Enigma. And thanks to those who also called in with their contributions and everything. So I would like to give it to you, Dr. I was about to call you Dr. Innocent, but I think you should have a PhD anytime soon, though.
I work, but not yet. I want to thank you personally too for the effort that you put, because I don't know you before now until you came to DSA's platform, and I observed certain evolution about your personality. Yeah, I see you start laughing like DSA now. Sometimes you even sound like him. And your discipline in work too. I remember sharing just a document with you that you replied with almost a very done work already, and then you were apt to respond to your messages. So I think these are some of the things when you live with DSA, you see all those things manifesting through the people that live around. And I wanted to say this too. In addition to that, I think I said that in the video. But I want to say it in conclusion. In addition to what you said, that DSA is not the type of person. Like, I'm talking directly now to the atheist. DSA is not somebody that is promising you heaven, some paradise, or is asking you to bring heaven to earth.
True.
To make this world, to make this earth